Coming up on Global Business, trade facilitation. China aims to boost institutional innovation and tech empowerment in customs authority to facilitate cross-border trade. Brief reprieve. UK inflation cooled by more than expected last month, slowing to 2.6%, but the slowdown is likely to offer only temporary relief to new Prime Minister Andy Burnham as he seeks to ease living costs. And El Nino impacts. The Panama Canal Authority will further reduce the maximum draft for vessels later this summer due to a strengthening El Nino that could reduce rainfall. We examine how climate drivers are affecting global shipping. Hello there and welcome to Global Business. You're watching CGTN. I'm Lincoln Humphreys. China's fiscal revenue maintained steady growth in the first half of 2026, with the growth rate picking up steadily month by month. According to official data released Wednesday, fiscal revenue rose 4.7% year on year to 12.1 trillion yuan, or around $1.7 trillion. Tax revenue, a key indicator of economic vitality, increased 5.3% to 9.8 trillion yuan, accelerating from the first quarter. Officials attributed the robust performance to the economy's resilience, along with rising prices, a buoyant stock market and robust foreign trade. Meanwhile, fiscal spending was up 1.5% to more than 14.3 trillion yuan, as the government maintains a more proactive stance to support growth.
By tax category, domestic value-added tax increased by 6%, primarily driven by sustained growth in industry and services, as well as rising producer prices. Value-added tax and consumption tax on imported goods rose by 11.8%, mainly due to strong growth in import volumes under foreign trade. Corporate income tax grew by 3.9%, largely reflecting higher corporate profits. Securities stamp duty surged by 97.3%, mainly attributable to increased trading volume in the stock market.
The General Administration of Customs of China, or GACC, says it will boost institutional innovation and tech empowerment to facilitate cross-border trade in the coming 5 years. GACC head Sun Mei-jun made the remarks at a news conference today.
In the coming 5 years, we will stick to the dual driver of institutional innovation plus tech empowerment and work to ensure both fast clearance and good management. Our effort will focus on 3 areas, that is, optimizing the regulator framework, boosting the regulatory efficacy, and making our regulatory model even smarter.
The GACC's new measures include upgrading port infrastructure and further improving existing opening up platforms, such as the Hainan Free Trade Port. Minister Sun also said China's foreign trade got off to a good start in the first half of 2026, which kicks off the country's 15th five-year plan for development. Last week, China reported foreign trade surged nearly 17% to about $3.7 trillion from January to June. Moreover, the GACC pledged to expand imports of advanced tech equipment, key components, energy resources and quality agricultural products over the next 5 years, while diversifying source countries. Despite a challenging global environment and rising protectionism, China's foreign trade has remained resilient and robust. In the first half of this year, total imports and exports topped $3.69 trillion. So what's behind this number, and why has China been able to maintain the resilience of its industrial and supply chains? Xu Yanwen finds out.
Scorching heat is gripping many European countries, sending demand for cooling products soaring. At an AC factory in Qingdao in East China's Shandong province, a large order from France is keeping the production lines busy.
European orders are surging. Just days ago, we took an urgent order from France for 70,000 units.
Customs data shows that in the first half of 2026, China's exports of cooling home appliances, including ACs, fans, and refrigerators, reached about $15 billion. Beyond these traditional goods, some new faces have also delivered stunning performances overseas, including robots, AI, and innovative drugs, considered the new trio of future industries. At this newly opened factory in Suzhou in East China's Jiangsu province, Orders for robotic sweeper are booked through December, with half coming from overseas markets.
Our planned production capacity is set to reach 7.5 million units.
In Suzhou's Wuzhou district alone, there are over 1,600 robotics and smart manufacturing firms. The area also attracts top talent. Engineers from radar, sensor, and casing suppliers work together on product upgrades, improving navigation, endurance, and efficiency.
We brought in some upstream and downstream enterprises in laser radar, sensors, and motors, all located within a 10-kilometer radius. This compact supply chain can boost our competitiveness.
Customs data shows that in the first half of 2026, China's exports of cleaning and bionic robots reached over $2.6 billion. Industrial robot exports hit $928 million, a year-on-year increase of 18.6%, with shipments to over 140 countries. From air conditioners to robots, the robust growth reflects the country's industrial innovation and supply chain resilience. Xuanwen, CGTN.
The International Advanced Air Mobility Expo kicked off today in Shanghai, featuring global debuts of 23 cutting-edge products and technologies. Meanwhile, in nearby Suzhou, the world's first consumer-grade wing-in-ground craft made its debut, targeting overseas markets and marking a significant step forward for China's smart innovations on the global stage. Chen Tong reports.
It's not a plane, and it's not a ship.
This is the world's first consumer-grade wing-in ground craft. That is to say, it's able to skim over the water.
Between 30 and 80 centimeters above the water, its maximum speed can reach 85 kilometers per hour. This craft is developed by a domestic company. 90% of its business goes overseas, which is the major target market for this craft. No need for an airport or a special parking place. The company says besides transportation alone, there are other possibilities.
It can be used in some entertainment projects and luxury hotels, resorts, and yacht clubs. We think its usage scenario is very close to yachts.
According to Morgan Stanley, the global low-altitude economy market size will exceed $2 trillion by 2030. And China's patents in the low-altitude industry rank first worldwide, already accounting for 51% of the global total. He Jiangpeng has been exporting China's smart innovations such as humanoid robots for 5 years.
We've reached some dozens of intended orders in the United States. From observation, China's manufacturing industry is becoming stronger.
China's smart manufacturing exports have seen significant growth over the past few months. In the first quarter of this year, the added value of the equipment manufacturing industry rose by 6.2% year-on-year, contributing nearly 20% to the country's industrial growth. And innovative products such as wing-in ground craft could propel that growth further. Chen Tong, CGTN Suzhou, Jiangsu Province.
Coming up next on Global Biz. Brief reprieve. UK inflation cooled by more than expected last month, slowing to 2.6%, but the slowdown is likely to offer only temporary relief to new Prime Minister Andy Burnham as he seeks to ease cost of living.
The world economy as we know it is about to change. Global business reports highlight emerging markets, developing countries, and dynamic sectors worldwide. We feature top analysts and newsmakers to provide perspectives on every facet of business. From an on-the-ground perspective, we provide you with balanced and objective assessments. Fast, sharp, and insightful. Global Business. Only on CGTN.
Time now for some other business headlines we're tracking for you around the globe. The Indonesian central bank unexpectedly left its key interest rate unchanged on Wednesday, despite rising inflation. Bank Indonesia has raised rates by a total of 100 BPS since May to shore up the rupiah amid capital outflows and low growth. The Japanese yen has weakened to its lowest level against the US dollar since 1986. Trading around 163 per dollar, the currency was largely weighed down by higher oil prices linked to the Middle East conflict. Markets are watching for possible government intervention to support the yen. Meanwhile, the UK's consumer price index eased to 2.6% in June from 2.8% the previous month. This is the smallest increase in more than a year, offering some relief to new Prime Minister Andy Burnham as he seeks to tackle the country's cost of living crisis. Heavy rainfall has hit parts of southern and central China, while thunderstorms are affecting northern regions. In southeast China's Jiangxi province, heavy rain triggered waterlogging in parts of Zhejiang City. Authorities have issued an orange alert for rainstorms, the second highest level in the country's 4-tier warning system. In central China's Zhuzhou, Hunan province, flooding reached up to 1.5 metres in some low-lying areas. Firefighters evacuated residents after residential buildings were flooded. Several cities in southern China's Guangdong province also recorded heavy rain, with rainfall there exceeding 100 millimetres in 9 towns. 14 thunderstorm alerts were issued across the province. Extreme weather this summer has brought growing uncertainty to agricultural production across China. In the southeastern province of Fujian, many towns and villages have felt the impact. Specialised agricultural insurance is now helping local grape growers ease financial strain and prepare for the seasons ahead. Bi Ran reports from Chuanzhou.
The insurance support for Fujian's farmers comes as the province faces further weather-related risks. Typhoon Bavi, the ninth typhoon of 2026, recently brought strong winds and heavy rainfall here. Earlier this year, unusually high temperatures also affected grape crops in Fujian's Ningde city.
Our initial investment, including greenhouse covering, land preparation and vine management, has already reached about 4,000 yuan, or roughly $560 per 660 square meters.
Miao says abnormal temperatures during the flowering period led to a high proportion of undersized round grapes, which could significantly reduce this year's harvest.
Take this bunch of grapes, for example. If it's with only few fully developed berries, among Chinese winemakers, they are referred to as round fruit, which means undersized. During periods of extreme heat or typhoons, losses of the whole vineyard could reach up to 30%.
After receiving a claim, a local insurance company immediately sent staff to inspect the vineyard and assess the damage.
We immediately opened a fast-track claims channel and sent staff to the grape-growing base. They verified facts. We also compared this year's output with normal production levels to determine the actual reduction caused by the extreme weather, ensuring that the assessment was based on verifiable evidence.
The insurer is able to complete the inspection, loss assessment, and claim review within 3 days. This time, a total of $130,000 was paid within 7 days to Miao's cooperative. According to Miao, the payment covers about half of their losses and has greatly eased their financial pressure. It also gives farmers greater confidence to expand production in the future.
Traditional policy-based crop insurance generally covers disasters such as fires, rainstorms, and mudslides. However, it does not normally cover yield losses caused directly by malformed grape development, leaving growers exposed to a gap in protection. We have encouraged insurers to improve their products and services by addressing insufficient coverage and incomplete protection for specialty crops.
Now in Fujian, new products, including yield loss insurance and weather index insurance, have strengthened farmers' ability to withstand risks. In the first half of this year, specialty agriculture insurance accounted for around 60% of Fujian's total agriculture insurance coverage, providing strong support for the development of the province's distinctive agricultural industry. Bi Ran, CGTN, Quanzhou, Fujian Province.
Turning to Central America, where the threats of a strong El Niño later this year is already disrupting global shipping. The The Panama Canal Authority announced earlier this month it will lower the maximum authorised draft to 49 feet on July 24th and 48.5 on August 15th. The reductions follow an initial cut to 49.5 on July 3rd. The authority cites the potential development of El Niño over the watershed in the coming months. Meanwhile, the World Meteorological Organization says forecast models point to a high probability of a strong El Niño later this year, raising the risk of heat waves, droughts, heavy rains and other extreme weather. The last El Niño from 2023 to 2024 triggered severe loading restrictions on canal transits, eventually causing major delays that hammered the global shipping industry. Now, for more on extreme weather and the related economic impacts, let's bring in Chen Jiahe, Chief Investment Officer of MYT Technologies. Thanks for joining us. So as ocean temperatures rise, what are the most significant operational and economic impacts on the global shipping industry?
Hi, Lincoln. Thank you for having me. Well, basically speaking, with the rising of ocean temperature as well as the global warming, most of the things that can be expected for the global shipping industry would be bad things. The weather would be harder to predict. Traditional prediction models will be less accurate in the new environment because the whole weather is changing. We will see more extreme weather like typhoon, which will pose more danger to the global shipping industry. The cost of the shipping will be rising. Ocean ships will have to cost more fuel in order to avoid the impact from extreme weather. So most of the things will be bad things. Of course, there are also some good things. For example, the wind can be stronger. That means the ships using some of the wind power can have less cost. Also, the Arctic shipping route will be more available. But compared with the negative impacts, these shining points are actually quite limited. So overall speaking, with the rising of global temperature, the global shipping industry will just have to bear more cost.
So with these extreme weather events becoming more frequent and disruptive, how can stakeholders across the maritime value chain better coordinate on climate resilience rather than fragmenting their mitigation efforts?
Yes, indeed. When facing extreme weather, the global shipping industry shall cooperate together in order to counter the rising cost. When we look at the global shipping industry, it is actually a quite competitive industry. Shipping companies compete against each other in order to reduce the cost and gaining the orders from customers. Therefore, it is very important for them to try to find some way to work together. In more details, there are many things that the shipping companies can work together. For example, they can set better safety standard for the shipping. That means when the weather is turning to be dangerous, the shipping companies should follow a same standard to avoid the shipping that would be risky. No company shall take bolder actions. Also, shipping companies shall work together to increase the technologies that will reduce the cost of fuel in the changing weather. The global insurance system for the shipping industry shall also work harder to prevent the shipping companies from being hurt by extreme weather. These are just some examples. There are many more things that can be conducted.
As a central player in global shipping, what strategies or innovations has China implemented for extreme weather risk management, and what lessons could other major trading nations learn?
Well, in recent years, China has been doing many things in order to work better in extreme weather and actually to stop the extreme weather from spreading. This is not only being limited in the shipping industry itself, but overall speaking, China is a country that has been trying to prevent the global warming, or at least to slow down the pace of the global warming. If we look at the new energy industry, China is now having the world's largest new energy industry. China uses a lot of solar power and wind power and is now replacing many of its traditional cars with new energy vehicles. Regarding the shipping industry, China has also been investing a lot with inventing new ships that are more energy efficient and less relying on traditional fuel. China has also been sharing a lot of weather information with other countries to prevent ships from being hurt by extreme weather. Actually, it is really important for all countries to work together in order to counter the extreme weather, which is a common enemy for all economies in the world.
Thank you very much, Chen Jiahe, Chief Investment Officer of MYT Technologies. Appreciate your insight. The UK is facing increasingly hot summers, but most homes lack air conditioning and only a small fraction of tube lines are cooled. The city's ageing underground tunnels trap heat, and despite decades of rising temperatures, no effective solution has been introduced. Li Jianhua reports from London.
When I moved to the UK from Beijing about 3 years ago, one thing immediately stood out for me: air conditioning. You don't get to see AC fans hanging on the outside of buildings at all. Where I come from, temperatures can sometimes go up to 40 degrees Celsius. So without AC, life can be pretty unbearable in hot summer days. And here, most homes don't have AC. And even in the 3 years I've lived here, I've noticed that Britain is becoming hotter and hotter. And the data backs that up. This Met Office analysis shows where weather stations recorded 30 degrees or higher in June, going back to the 1960s. 30-degree heat was once rare in Britain. Now it is becoming much more widespread. And 2025 was the UK's warmest year on record. Well, Britain wasn't built for this. Homes were designed to keep heat in, not out. Simply installing AC isn't always straightforward, especially in conservation areas, including my flat. I could simply buy a portable AC, but electricity is getting just more expensive, so buying an AC is only part of the cost. But the number of homes with AC did increase, doubling to about 4 million over the past 3 years. Still, only around 14% of UK homes have some form of air conditioning. And then you leave home. Welcome to the London Underground in summer. Only 4 of London's 11 underground lines have air-conditioned trains. During the June heatwave, temperatures on parts of the Central Line reached almost 40 degrees with no air conditioning. Social media are full of memes about surviving the tube in summer now. I'm on Bakerloo right now. There is no AC, it's quite stuffy, and it's just hot air in your face. Imagine if this rush hour. It can be very unbearable for commuters. So once again, why not just install AC? The answer is beneath our feet. Every time a train brakes, it generates more heat. And in these narrow tunnels, the heat gets trapped. By simply adding air conditioning could create yet another problem. You cool the train, but dump even more heat into the tunnel. The London Underground is more than 160 years old, the world's oldest metro system. It simply wasn't designed for summers like this. And on the hottest days, passengers can even be advised to avoid travelling. And it's not just homes or the underground. More than 1,300 schools, 60 hospitals, and more than 350 care homes also face high heat risk. Let me bring you back to 1976, the benchmark for a brutally hot summer in the country. The advice was simple: stay in the shade, save water, and interestingly, share a bath. Britain's response to extreme heat was largely about enduring it. Well, 50 years later, the same Trafalgar Square, the problem remains and intensifies, but still, there are no effective measures rolled out yet.
Now to Germany. It's long been one of Europe's least air-conditioned countries, with less than 1 in 5 households owning an AC unit. After another summer of record-breaking heat, that trend is changing. Natalie Carney reports from Munich.
It's been hot. Park benches and playgrounds sit empty as people escape the peak of the heat. Even wildlife is seeking out shade. While air conditioning is common in countries like the US, Australia, and Japan, only about 18% of German households have it. But as the climate warms, that trend is changing.
We don't have an air conditioner at home, but the last heat wave was really pushing the limits.
I don't have air conditioning at home. I only have it at the office, and I wouldn't want to give it up there.
No, I don't have air conditioning, but it's getting warmer, so now I'm thinking about buying one.
And so are many others. AC installer Die Klimameisterei has never been busier, receiving up to 80 calls a day from homeowners and big businesses.
We've seen a massive surge in demand. It's becoming hard to manage the volume of inquiries.
Maximilian says it can take weeks just to get an appointment.
While air conditioning is still considered a luxury item, the volume of inquiries shows that people are willing to invest in their comfort, something that wasn't really the case in the past.
For decades, short, mild summers, high electricity costs, and a culture for open windows meant that air conditioning was often unnecessary.
But as extreme heat becomes more common, retailers are saying air conditioners are flying off the shelves as they become the fastest growing technology Germans are using to keep cool.
That's led many to international retailers, helping to ease supply concerns, such as Alibaba, who told CGTN Germany is the only market surveyed where retailers increased wholesale orders for both portable fans and air conditioners year on year, and stands out as the strongest all-around growth market. Chinese cooling products are helping meet that demand, with exports of portable air conditioners from China to Western Europe up 70% in the first 5 months of 2026, even before this summer's heat waves. Many are now calling for wider use of air conditioning, particularly in schools and hospitals, after recent record-breaking heat forced some medical facilities to evacuate.
Air conditions are not only a matter of comfort, but also a health protection topic. We have to think about elderly communities, nursing homes, hospitals, and all communities that need caring from very hot conditions. But we have to face also the fact that increasing numbers of air conditions will also increase the energy demand.
As air conditioners become more energy efficient and increasingly powered by renewable electricity, companies like Die Klimameisterei expect demand to keep growing. Natalie Carney for CGTN in Munich.
That is all we have for you for this edition of Global Business. I'm Lincoln Humphreys in Beijing. You've been wonderful company. We'll see you next time. Goodbye for now.